Ismail is here. Today we're going to learn about the lesson 12.3 tangent lines and velocity. Here we are expecting to learn two things, two objectives. The first one is we're going to find the instantaneous rate by change of calculating slopes of tangent line, then find average instantaneous velocity. So as you can see here, we are going to find the velocity and the slope of the tangent. Okay, let's start here with the tangent line. And here in the lesson, let's say in the lesson 1.4, we calculated the average rate of a change. And if we need to calculate the average rate of a change, we need to use 2 points at least to calculate any slope or the rate of a change. But here in this lesson, we're going to learn how we can just find the slope or the rate of a change using 1 point only. For example, look at this one here. So as you can see, we have this function. Function y is equal x squared. And the point that I need to find the slope at it is, let's say, 1 and 1. Look to these three graphs. So for example, if you look to this graph here, I have in the blue color is the graph of x squared. And as you can see, I have this point here 1 and I have this point here. Then I can find the slope through this 2 points. Same thing here. How about if I move this point down more closer to the first point? So as you can see, the slope will be different, okay, and more close to the point 1 and 1. How about if I move this one more smaller, or let's say more close to the first one? So as you can see, the slope can be through just only 1 point. So just quick example, if you look to this one here, now let's say I have this parabola, and I need to find the slope using this point here. So the slope will be just go through the point, this one here. So this one is the slope, okay, through only just 1 point. How can I apply this one using formula? Or how can I do this one without using the formula of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1? Because here in this point, I have, let's say this is 1 and 1. So I have x1 and I have y1, okay? But I don't have this one and this one. So I'm going to use a formula to find the slope at 1 point. How can I do it, or which is the formula? The formula is this one here. As mentioned, the formula is limit when h approach 0, f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So this is the formula to find the tangent line. Okay, let me write here. So this formula can find for you a tangent line, or it can find through the slope at point. At 1, or let's say at 1 point. Okay, now what should we do? Let's go here to the first example to understand how we can use the formula. So find the slope of a line tangent to the graph y equal x squared at the points 1 and 1. Also, we are going to find the formula, or use the formula to find the slope and at any point. So look to these two examples. The first one is ask me to find it at 1 point, at which is will be given 1 and 1. Here it will ask me to find at any point, which is question will ask only any point. It will not give just 1 point. Okay, let's learn how we can do it at 1 point here. So the first step that we need to do is to write the formula. So write the formula when limit approach 0, f of x plus 1 minus f of x over h. Now, as you can see from the point given, because I need to find the slope at 1 point, so this point has x. So this number here is x, this number here is y. So I'm going to use this number here and replace it in every x, as you can see. So it will be now similar to this, f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 over h. So what's that mean, or what he mean about f1 plus h? F of 1 plus h means if, let's say, let's rewrite this equation. So this equation means is f of x equal x squared. So now, as you can see, here it's mentioned x, right? So, because this one is x, so this one will be x. But now, how about if I replaced, instead of f of x, I replace it with 1 plus h. So what will happen here? So the thing will happen here is we are going, instead of writing x, we are going to write now 1 plus h, and don't forget the square. So if I need to simplify this one can be written as two different brackets, 1 plus h times 1 plus h, right? Then we use distributive property. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times this is h. So 1 plus h, then the other one h plus 1 is equal h, then h times h is equal h square. So in the final it will be 1 plus 2h plus h square. So this one is the answer for f of 1 plus h. So what I'm going to do now is to replace this term with what I found here, as you can see down here. Okay, this one here for only the first term. Now I need to write minus according to the formula. F of 1, f of 1, same thing. Let's do it now. Let's find f of 1. So f of 1 is equal, f of x, you know that f of x is equal what? Is equal x squared, right? But how about now if I write f of 1? So f of 1, I need to replace 1 instead of the x. So it will be 1 squared, right? So 1 squared is equal what? Is equal 1. So we write this one instead of f1. So it will be minus, okay, minus 1. So as you can see, I reached to this step by doing this two steps. First, we find 1 plus h. The second step, we find f of x. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now, let's go to the next part. After this step, let's add minus the like term. As you can see, we have like term here, minus 1 and positive 1. So they cancel each other. Okay, remains 2h plus h squared. Do I have a common factor? Yes, common factor is between h and h squared. So I take h as a common factor. It will be 2 plus h over h. Now I can cancel h with h here. So now it will be 2 plus h. Now look to the limit. Let's approach what's value is 0. So I replace 0 with h. So the final answer will be 2 plus 0 equal 2. So this is how we can solve the question using the formula. Let's take another example here. But this example this time is at any point. So as you can see, there is no x. So I will keep x same. Okay? First step, we write the formula. Now, after I write the formula, I need to replace x with the value given. But as you can see, the value for x is not given because the question is asking me to find it at any point. So there is no x given. What you have to do, you just replace f of x in the formula a, which is x plus h. Now, let's write the question. The question is already f of x equal x squared plus 2x. Now, let's find f of x plus h, what it will be. So, instead of every x, I'm going to write x plus h. Okay? So now we write x plus h here and x plus h here. Now the first bracket, let's simplify it. It will be x plus h times x plus h plus. Then we distribute 2 times x is equal to x. 2 times h is equal plus 2h. Now let's simplify the first term. X times x is x squared. Then x times h is equal x h. H times x, same thing, x h. Then h times h is equal h squared. Okay, plus 2x plus 2h. Now let's add the like term. As you can see, I have like term xh with xh. So it will be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h. Now let's add the like term if I have more like term. So as you can see here, in this equation, I don't have any like term because it's x squared, 2xh, and h squared plus 2x plus 2h. Yeah, so there is no any like term here. So all of that can be replaced instead of this term here. Okay, so now let's replace this one. It will be limit when h approach 0, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h. Now I need to continue. I need to find now this term here. So this term is f of x. F of x is already x squared plus 2x, right? So I don't have to substitute or do anything. So it's already, the answer is already given to us. So let's replace this term with x squared. So now minus, okay, x squared plus 2x. Now all of that is over. h. Now let's distribute the negative for every term. So it will be limit when h approaches 0, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 2x plus 2h, minus x squared minus 2x. Now it's the easiest part, which is adding and subtracting the like term. As you can see, negative 2x with a positive 2x, they cancel each other. Then we have negative x squared with x squared, they cancel each other. Do I have any other like term? No, I don't have any other term. So let's keep everything. Limit when h approaches 0, 2xh plus h squared plus 2h is over h. Can I take h now as a common factor? So yes, I can take it. So it will be h times 2x plus h plus 2. So all of that is over h. Now can we cancel the h's together? Yes, so it remain. Now limit when h approaches 0, 2x plus h plus 2. Now let's replace h with 0. So it will be 2x plus 0 plus 2. So the final will be 2x plus 2. So this is how we can find the answer using the formula of the finding the slope at any point. Okay. Now it's your turn. Try to solve this question. Let me just remove the the boxes for you so you can check from your answer after you solve. Try to practice on every single question. The first two questions above is to find the slope at one point. The two questions below is to find the slope at any point. Now, the second way, or the second part of the lesson, finding instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity, when you have, as mentioned here, when you have 2 points, for any 2 points in the time, you can find the average velocity by using the formula f of b minus f of a over b minus a. It's similar when I say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But because here we are talking about velocity, velocity means time, right? So I need to find the time, okay, or let's say t2 minus t1, okay? So this is the velocity because we're talking about the time. So change in distance over change in time. Now, let's take this example here. So the example is given. So let's read it together. The distance in the mile that runner completing the Boston Marathon has traveled after a certain time t can be found using this formula. So this is the formula, or let's say this is the equation that we're going to use or represent the runner speed. What was the runner average speed? So it's asking average speed. So average speed, I'm going to use this formula here, okay? Because this is the average speed formula. But don't forget, this only can be, let's say, used when you have only 2 points. If I have 1 point, I can't use this one, okay? And this equation, let's see how many points do I have. So this equation has, let's complete between the second and the third hour. So second and third. So as you can see, A and B is given. A, which is the 2 points are given, the A is equal to, B is equal to 3. Now what you're supposed to do here, we need to replace 2 instead of the t here to find f of 2, right? So now look here, so I write the formula again. So f of 2 is equal, instead of every t, I need to replace it with 2, so I get 18.8. Now the same thing I have to do with the 3, so I need now to replace 3 in this t, and replace t in this 3. So I wrote the formula, then I replace 3 in every t, then I get the t is equal 24.3. Now we write the formula to find the average speed, which is f of b minus f of a. F of b is here 24.3, f of a 18.8 over b minus a, which is b minus 3 minus 2. Then we get the final answer, which is equal 5.5 second per hour. Okay. Now let's go to the second one here. Let's do it just really quick. First, just identify the equation. So the formula that we have, this one here, this is the function. Okay, then where t is the second the height of the ball is measured in feet. What's the ball average speed? So we're asking for average speed. As you know, average speed, we need to at least know 2 points to use the formula y2 minus y1, or f of b minus f of a. So t1 is equal t1, the time is equal 1, then the other t is equal 2. So we know that this is a, which is equal 1, this is b, which is equal 2. Now let's substitute them. So f of a, which is f of 1, we substitute 1 in every t, so negative 16, 1 square plus 95 times 1 plus 15. The answer is 94. Now let's substitute the second value, which is f of 2. So f of 2 is equal negative 16, 2 square plus 95 times 2 plus 15, which is the answer will be 141. Now let's use the formula. So the formula said f of b minus f of a over b minus a. So v average, which is the average of speed, f of b is equal 94 minus f of a, sorry, not 94, 141. So f of b is 141 and f of a is equal 94. So 2 minus 1, then we get the answer, which is, I wrote it here, is 47. Okay, so the answer is equal 47 feet per second. Okay, this is easy question. You need to get at least full mark in this one here. Okay, now let's go to the last part of this lesson. How about, I told you, if I need to find the average speed, okay, at one point. So what we call this one, we call it instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity, so I need to find the velocity at one point at a time. Okay, so in the previous example here, I have t1 and I have t2. But how about if these are not given and this one not given, and I just give you t equal 3? So how you can find the velocity if at t equal 3? And if you substitute t in the equation, you need at least another point, so you can substitute the other one in the equation, so you can use this formula. So this formula now is not working if I have only 1 point given. So I need at least to have 2 points to use that one. But now here, I can use this formula at instantaneous velocity, which means 1 point only. So it's the same formula of finding the slope at any point. It's when limit h approach 0, f of t plus h minus f of t over h. It's similar to the one that we learned, but the previous one was x plus h minus f of h, f of x over h. But here, because we're talking about velocity, which is related to the time, so that's why we switch x and we write here t. Okay, so this is the difference between the first formula and the second one. So now you can understand this formula will help you to find 4 things. First, we can find the tangent line. Also, we can find the slope at any point. Okay, or we can find the average velocity, or we can find the, let's call it rate of change. Okay, now let's have a look on this example. This example is similar also to the first example we did, which is I have the formula here. So the formula is given feet, or let's say f of t equal 2000 minus 16t squared. Find, it's mentioning here, find what? Instantaneous velocity. So instantaneous velocity means I need to find it at 1 point, which is at the second 5. So t is equal 5. Now after I know that t is equal 5 and the equation is this, let's write the formula. So the formula is vt is equal limit when h approach 0. You write the formula. Now as we know that t plus h, we need to replace, okay, let me use this space here so we can write anything we need. Okay, none. Okay, Let's use this. So the first thing I need, it's t plus h, and t is given, which is equal 5, so it will be f. First, the equation is f of t, so this is the equation, which is equal to 2000 minus 16t squared. Now I need to find when f of t plus h, but I know that t is equal 5 because 5 is given, so 5 plus h. So in every t, I need to replace 5 plus h. 2000 minus 16 square, and you have to write here 5, sorry, not t, 5 plus h. Now let's simplify this one. If we simplify this one, we will get 2000 minus, we must 16, 5 plus h, 5 plus h, because it's 5 plus h square. Now we use the distributive property, we get 2000 minus 16, 5 times 5 is 25, 5 times h is equal 5h, then 5 times h, another 5h, then h times h is equal h square. Now let's add the like term. As you can see here, I have like 5h and 5h, so I can add them together. 2000 minus 16, 25 plus 10h plus h square. Now let's distribute the 16 for every term. So 2000 minus 16 times 25 is equal 400. Then minus 16 times 100, 160h. 16 times h squared, negative 16h squared. Do I have like term? Yes, I have like term. The 2000 and negative 400. So now it will be 2000 minus 400 will be 1600 minus 160h minus 16h squared. So now all of that is f(1) plus h. Okay, so this one is the simplifying f of 5h. So I need to replace this one instead of this. Now let's find f of t. And we know that t is equal 5. Okay, you can write it here down. So f of 5, so I need to replace every t with 5, so it will be 2000 minus 16 times 5 square, which is equal 1600. So now I need to replace this one here and this f of t. Now if I replace them, I will get this one, this equation. It will be 1600. Okay, let me write it in the red color. It's better for you to understand. 1600 minus 160h minus 16h square minus 1600. All of that is over h. Now we need to cancel the like terms, so this one is cancel this one, so they cancel each other, so it means negative 160h minus 16h square over h. So I can take h as a common factor, so it will be h minus 160h, 60 only, minus 16h, then over h. We cancel this h with this h, it become only negative 60, negative 16, sorry, negative 160, negative 16h. We replace h with 0, so the final answer is equal negative 160. Okay, I hope you understand this. This question has the same idea, but it's more longer because we have here 3 terms, which is we're going to do the same. We write the limit when h approaches 0, f of t plus h minus f of t over h. So first, I know that f of t or s of t is the same thing. 18 t minus 3t cubed minus 1. So I need now to replace it t with plus h. Why I replace this one t plus h? Because the question is asking me find at any point. He didn't give me t. So t should be stays as t. So now it will be 18 and minus 3 cube minus 1. So I need to replace this one with t plus h and this one with t plus h. Then you start simplifying. Same thing if for f of t. So now I have f of t, I have f of t plus h. You replace this one here. You replace also this one here instead of this. Then you start simplifying until you get the final answer. Okay? I hope you understand. Now try to solve this 2 question by yourself. It's easy question, but try to practice. More practicing, more thing will be clear to you. Okay? So don't forget to solve the question in this page 762. Have a good day. See you. Bye-bye.